New Jersey Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew joins us now. He's a member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Congressman, welcome and thank you for being here. Before we get started, I want to put up the White House response to Bezos' criticism. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre tweeting, quote, "Oil prices have dropped by about $15 over the past month, but prices at the pump have barely come down. That's not basic market dynamics. It's a market that is failing the American consumer." Your response?
The president's being intellectually dishonest. We're playing with fractions right here. Frankly, what he's doing is what he always does for all of the problems that he's created, the blame game. The blame falls with him. You know what leadership is? What a real president does? A real president stands up, says, look, I made a real bad mistake when I limited the number of permits out there. I increased the red tape out there, and I just closed down the oil industry in every single way I could. How could the prices not go up? And he wants to blame Ukraine or the war in Ukraine, and that's nonsense as well, because frankly, if he had been a strong president, and he's not, he's weak and he's feckless, and, you know, Putin knew that, so he went ahead with this war. This would have never happened with a strong president. I guarantee if Donald Trump was there, this wouldn't have happened. He would have stood up and told Putin to stop it, and it wouldn't have occurred. This is all, every bit of it is due to this president and his bad, misplaced policies, and he's blaming others. And, you know, he may be cognitively impaired, but he seems to be smart enough to always blame somebody else for his own screw-ups.
Well, in South Dakota, Governor Kristi Noem, Republican of South Dakota, was slamming Biden's energy policies this morning. Take a listen.
I think that a lot of energy policies should be addressed. A lot of them with opening up American energy supply again. I wish he wouldn't have canceled the Keystone Pipeline. I wish he wouldn't have stopped drilling on federal lands. I wish he wouldn't hit so many of our energy industry partners with regulations and fines and penalties. He's made us much more dependent on our enemies, on foreign soil.
Congressman, you clearly share some of the same sentiments of the governor there. But my question to you is, should the midterms go your party's way in November, and assuming gas prices are going to continue to be similar to what they are, what is your party willing to do to help Americans out in the future? What can you do?
Well, one of the things we're going to do is never vote to perpetuate policies like that. Unfortunately, that was an executive order. Most of the bad things he's done certainly have been initiated by him and then pushed through Congress. So we're not voting for anything like that. Secondly, we are going to squeeze him as hard as we can, because he's got to know that this is not acceptable and that we want to open this energy portfolio up and that we can help people. The issue here is we're number one in energy. Actually, we should be number one in everything, and we could be, but we can't because of him. But we do have the potential to be number one in energy. Instead, he crawls on his knees to Venezuela, to the Mideast, to Iran, to individuals and groups that are literally bad and evil to their core, and begs them. And that's the wrong thing to do. So we're not going to do that. And we're going to squeeze the daylights out of him to do the right thing. If he's going to want anything from this new Congress, he better do some listening.
I'd like to move on to the midterms and actually future elections, because with Roe v. Wade being overturned, you know that for Republicans, the abortion issue was a turnout machine for your party ever since 1973. So now what are you going to do? And how concerned are you about those single issue voters who you were able to get out there to the polls for voting when they were voting on abortion, when now Roe v. Wade has been overturned?
Well, those folks are going to still be out there. They understand what's going on. They understand that there are folks that are fighting to pack the Supreme Court. And when I say folks, I mean, again, this president, this majority party, they want to destroy our institutions in so many ways. And one of them is a Supreme Court. They're talking about making special exceptions for certain issues. Frankly, I don't think they understand what the Supreme Court is and what constitutionality is. A lot of those people who vote understand that. In fact, most of them do. They're still going to come out. But you know who's going to come out? the people who are paying so much for milk and eggs, the people who literally are paying so much for gas, the people who, yeah, they may get a pay raise, but in no way covers all the expenses they have because everything costs more. The farmers are going to come out because their fertilizer is going to cost more. The people who are worried about safety are going to come out because they're going to be worried that literally the crime rate in every city is going up, and we're letting bad people out who commit violent crimes as fast as they come in. We need a much better system with that. They're going to come out because they don't like what this president and what this majority party is doing to our military and making it so much weaker than it should be and could be. They're going to come out because of the bread and butter issues. They're going to come out because they're going to want America to be the America we know and love, and we can bring it back.
New Jersey Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew, thank you so much for your time today.